Hey guys, Guggen here. We are going into World 2 this time. I want to unlock the blacksmith, see if I can upgrade my weapons, because I died a crap ton in World 4 trying to get through. And I figured it's about time I got upgraded a little bit. So, here we are. Just up these stairs, off to your left, there's going to be a crystal lizard. You'll see him right there. I usually use a bow. Some people run up and hit him. I just prefer the bow for dealing with crystal lizards whenever possible. So, took a few arrows. I fired an extra one just in case. He doesn't drop a whole lot of useful stuff, mostly just hard stone, sharp stone stuff. So, don't worry too much about him. If you miss him, you can usually get those elsewhere pretty easily. It's not like spider stone or something weird like that that you can only get from certain locations. Have I mentioned they did a really good job on this remake? Anywho, you want to watch out up this area. There's a vendor right there in front of me. I don't even notice him this time, and this leads to a blacksmith, but we can't access him just yet. But there's a vendor right there on my left, an item above my head that I can't get to until I unlock him. A couple of guys are going to be throwing boulders at you up here. They have a wide range of effect, and the effect lasts quite a bit after the boulders explode. So just keep your head, keep an eye on them. Try not to get hit in the head like that, if possible. In my defense, I hadn't played the game in a while. You'll notice I'm still using the Crescent Falchion. That's because almost everything in here can take extra damage against magic. But I'm not going that way just yet. Excuse me. I haven't played this game in a really long time, so I forgot how to unlock everything. Didn't take me long to figure it out, though. I'm going to follow this up. There are a couple of items up here that you can pick up. I think the Crushing Battle Axe if you're wanting to go with a strength build, and I don't remember what it is over there in that corner. We'll find out here in a minute. These guys have a crap ton of health. It takes forever to kill them, which can actually be a problem when you go and do something stupid like that. Generally, you want to take a swing and get out, because they can fire off that thing pretty damn quick. Anyway, now I remember there's a vendor here. He doesn't carry a whole lot here. You'll find him later in the next level, and he carries a lot more useful stuff, like large hardstone and shards, sharpstone shards. But this is the main reason why you don't need to worry about that that lizard that's right next to him. This guy sells almost everything that lizard can drop. Anyway, back through here. I didn't bother to do the cutoff cam on this one because it was literally like a 1 minute run back. You'll notice things go a whole lot quicker for me here. Well, not quicker, easier. If you got the room to get around him, that's the easiest way to kill him. Just keep backstabbing him. If you stay on his right, he usually can't hit you. Keep your distance and you can just dodge his fireballs pretty easily. I don't know how that did not hit me. So you saw how I took down those two guys with just 2 swings? If I was using my Uchigatana, it would take like 6 or 8. It really doesn't do very much damage to these guys. It might do more damage to this guy, but I wasn't really wanting to swap weapons over and over again. I did make him bleed, though. Theoretically, I could just walk away and just wait for him to die at this point. And this is the Crushing Battle Axe. Like I said, if you're going for a strength build, you can use that as a good starter weapon until you find one you like. It comes with a C in strength, not much else. It's not the best strength weapon in the game, but it's a good starter. I think most people who go with strength builds end up going for the Dragon Bone Smasher, which will literally do exactly what it sounds like it would do. It can... almost all enemies in the game, it can literally flatten them, which is a big lifesaver considering how slow it is to swing. It does a crap ton of damage and not much else. So I'm riding this all the way down. You can jump off onto the other side if you angle it right. It is risky, but I'm following it all the way down anyway to pick up this and to show you where on Pure Black World Tendency, there's a demon that shows up right about where I'm standing. You kill it to get colorless demon souls, which you need to upgrade unique weaponry. But if you don't care about any of that, you can hop off and sort of jump across as you're on your way down, so you can actually get over here. But if you mistime it or misangle it, you're going to fall to your death. So, take it or leave it. Also, this thing has a much fast... You can backstab these guys with the Uchikatana and probably kill them because it is counted as piercing damage, but the backstab takes so freaking long. This thing has a much faster backstab animation. I think it takes 2 hits to kill them with standards, 1 backstab. The ones you're going to want to make sure you get a hold of are the ones with bags. If it's carrying a bag, it actually drops a bunch of upgrade materials, and you'll see one of those in the next room up here. I'm real careful in here because I already know that there's some dogs that are hiding in that room with the, wow, the vase? No, urns in front of it. And I don't want to get too close and aggro them because fighting the dogs plus these guys, even though these guys are slow moving, can really cause some problems. I am wearing the Thief's Ring, which is a big help, but they'll still aggro if you get too close. And there on the right is the guy with the bag. You'll notice when I loot the stuff he drops, he drops a lot. Unlike crystal lizards, these guys will not respawn when you kill a boss. So what he drops is what you get, and if you die before you loot it, well, you lost it. There's one more there. I've probably already aggroed the dogs at this point, but they got to break through this thing. Nope, I did not aggro the dogs. I did aggro that guy, though. His fireballs do break a vase each. I did not notice that initially, and I thought maybe the vases were acting as a fool, and then I noticed right there that he destroyed one, and then I took a hit to the face, and the dogs broke through. This is not a good idea, by the way. Menuing when you got dogs running around. I got lucky that they got stuck or hidden in that room back there, but yeah. Not the smartest move in the world. Trying to use the wall here to act as a barrier. This guy moves his head out of the way every single shot, it seems like. It makes it hard to hit him. The reason I'm not going in there is because I already know there's a guy hidden behind the door on my right inside there, and I don't want to aggro him. I don't want to fight this guy with that other guy coming up behind me. He's inside there right now. Obviously, he didn't aggro when I walked in, so I got lucky there. Or it's the Thief's Ring again. And I decided I'm going to deal with him. I'm trying to figure out the best way to deal with him. That was a bad idea. I was trying to heal, I think. But I can see him there. I'm debating how to get him out of there because I know my weapon swings from the right, and he's on the right, and so I just used the bow. I was hoping to drag him out, obviously, but that didn't work. So I just finished him off with bow. Up here and around the corner, you'll be ambushed. Keep your shield up. Walls are your worst enemy with any kind of swinging weapon. If you're using a pokey weapon, they don't do too bad, but for slashing weapons, walls can be a real pain to deal with. So out here, you got a guy across the way up there. You can see him already. I need to kill him, and I need to get down to deal with those guys and pull a lever. And you'll see all that here shortly. This guy I usually shoot with a bow. I cannot remember. One side of his bridge collapses, and the other side doesn't. And I don't want to be dealing with him shooting at me the whole way while I'm trying to get over there, especially if I pick the wrong side of the bridge. So I just decided to kill him now, so I don't have to worry about him. And apparently my arrows are going like right through him or something. I picked this particular spot because it's a protective spot. He can't hit me here, basically. And down he goes. I do definitely want to loot him without dying because I need the gloves that he's dropping for later. So next I'm trying to figure out what I want to do regarding all the guys down below. Do I want to go in melee? Do I want to take them out ranged? And I decided I wanted to take them out ranged. That way I wouldn't have to deal with a whole bunch of them at once. These guys can hit like Mack trucks, especially if 2 or 3 of them hit you at once. And I didn't want to take the chance of losing loot because, for example, this guy right here is another one of those bag carriers. Ore carriers, bag carriers. I'm not really sure what the precise term is. That's the lever I need to pull in order to open the door to get to the next area. There's 3 guys guarding it. My original plan, I think, was just to kill a few of them so I could deal with the remainder safely. But since I was already there, I decided to kill them all. And apparently I can't hit the broadside of a barn. So this is where I decided to go across. I cannot remember which side of the bridge collapses and which one doesn't. So I just flip a coin and... well, those of you who've played already know. I picked the wrong side. Yeah. And apparently I missed a guy too. You can walk down there and grab that. There's a ramp back up, but I didn't realize that at the moment. And I wanted to make sure I didn't want to have to run all the way back around, so. The area right below us is where we fought the dogs. And we're going to be going there here in just a second after we deal with all these guys. shield up just in time. Edge sharpening. Excuse me. Edge sharpening stones are actually very useful if you find yourself with a nearly broken weapon while running around and you forgot to repair. I don't think I actually used them at all during this run. Because I'm in the habit of repairing whenever I'm in town. I think I ran out of sharpness once. I don't remember where. And I just sort of lived with it until I could get to a place I could sharpen. Repairing your gear is actually super cheap. I think even nearly everything busted and broken, it only costs like 2,000 souls to repair everything. So, and basically we just backtrack all the way back through everything we just went through to get back up top where we killed the fat official. Don't have to worry about any enemies this time. Unless you didn't kill anything. As you can see, I'm still in the habit of holding up a shield whenever I go through a door, just in case. I forgot, and I'm going back for the gloves that I need. I actually did not realize at this point that I needed the gloves. I didn't find that out till later. But I'm glad I got them. If you're on that side of the bridge in the first place, it'll still collapse, but you won't fall. Most of this area is pretty linear. Just follow it through. I do recommend using a bow to take out those lizards on the walls. Like that one I just dealt with a minute ago. Just because they can do an almost completely what's the term? They can do an unwarned lunge, and I believe they do damage passively if you get too close to try to melee them. So these ones I just shoot off the walls. There's number 2. And almost number 3. There's number 3. And I was originally just going to wait for them to come around, or I wasn't going to wait for them to come around. Oh, and there's a 4th one. They will drop down on your head if you walk underneath them. So keep that in mind. And I'm just using the bow to finish them off as they come up to me. You'll see in a bit what happens when you try to melee them. I believe they can drop Meltstone. Don't quote me on that. I don't think they drop any of it during my run, but I believe they can drop Meltstone. Meltstone will revert your weapon back to level 1, I believe, is what it was. Which means you lose all of the materials you used to upgrade it, but you can change its path. I didn't want to deal with these guys face first. They have longer range on their weapons, and there's 3 of them up there, and I didn't want to deal with all 3 of them at once. This last guy gives me a little bit of trouble. Oh, no. I was thinking he was going to get a lot closer. Anyway, I'm thinking of a different run through here. There are a few guys floating around back here. I decided to use the rubble as sort of a barrier and try to pick them off. rubble is not much of a barrier because it takes only like one hit for them to blast through it. But... oh, this is the guy that gives me all the trouble. I can't seem to hit him to save my life. There it goes. The barrel offended me. Another bad guy. And there was another bad guy. As you can see, they can drop a lot of materials. Over here on the left, there's going to be an item. I'm a bit of a pack rat, so I have a hard time leaving items behind even when I don't need them. But that's a hero soul, so... most of these soul items tend to become less useful in further playthroughs because the amount of souls you need to level up are much lower than... or much higher than what these souls can provide. I believe on New Game Plus, if you're in level 90 range, it takes like there's an item right there I forgot to get. It takes something like 60,000 souls to level up, and even the best of those things gives like 8 to 10, something like that. It's really tiny, relatively speaking. They are useful, like if you lost all your souls and you need a repair or something like that, you can just pop one and grab your repairs, but 10,000 souls barely makes a dent in giving you levels.
I haven't seen... what does it matter?
Alright, so I'm gonna sort of speed through most of this. Mostly what I'm doing is upgrading my gear, etc., etc. I'm trying to get my Uchigatana and my bow, and I do a lot of back and forth. So I'm just going to sort of zoom through here. Anyway.
All done.
Alright, so following this lift back up, if you jump off here, you go back to the beginning of the level, or you can follow it all the way back up. This counts as a shortcut back to the area we were just at, and for some reason I'm going back down. Oh, I forgot to upgrade my... oh, I was checking to see what I need for the sticky compound bow, which is a spider stone, which I don't have any of as of this moment. So, yeah, don't waste my time. Alright, so I jumped back off here again. Just to show off where we're at. We're at the beginning. I have no idea why I jumped back off of there. Anyway, this is where that crystal lizard was, and if you die, you can just go back up from the bonfire right back here. Ta-da! Okay, so I decided to go back to town and pick up more arrows. I'm going to potentially need them. We'll see how things go. But there's a pretty good chance I'll need them. And now's a good time to go back because I just unlocked the shortcut. Means I don't have to deal with those boulder guys again. They kill me more times than anything else in here. Anywho. Back up the ramp, or back up the pulley system, whatever you want to call it. I see the item down there that I missed the last time. and then I just hop over. And you can do that same thing on that other pulley system, or almost any pulley system where you've got the up and down right next to each other. And you can do it the opposite way too. It just takes some timing. Saves you a bunch of time though. So since we did go back, all the guys that we killed respawned except for the bag carriers. So there should be like 2 guys, I think, in this tunnel. I can hear them. There they are. 1 and 2. And they both dropped items for me. I don't remember what Greystone's used for. Sorry. Those 3 sort of fire sword, whatever you want to call them, are sitting here. And I didn't get my shield up at all. I think I tried for a backstab there, but the angles were wrong. So in here, you're going to be ambushed just up the stairs and around the corner. Keep your shield up like that. There's a bunch of guys in here. Most of them just will ignore you unless you attack them. But there's a couple of them that will come after you. Just outside this room, there's a very important crystal lizard. You do not want to take a chance of scaring it away, so be very careful when you go out the door. If you know exactly where it is and whatnot, you can either go straight for it or do what I do, which is to take it from the side or the back at distance. That way there, it has no chance to escape. But if you know what you're getting into, you can turn left right outside this door and go straight for him. I think I'll show him to you here in just a second. There's an item down there. I'm going to ignore that item for the moment because that bridge will collapse on you when you try to go across it, which gives you no way back. There's that crystal lizard. You can see him there just on the right. I'm using a thief's ring, which makes it a little easier to avoid detection. Well, actually, a lot easier. Up here, all you're really going to do is... Oh, excuse me, again. Up here, all you're really going to do is walk to the edge, use your bow, and just start shooting these guys. That's one reason I went back to get more arrows. See them all? And you can see the crystal lizard right in front of him. So if you run out there and try to kill the crystal lizard and you can't kill it immediately, or if it runs first, it'll run straight into all these guys, and then you're trying to kill it and these guys. That is the only crystal lizard in this game that drops the items it does. And for this build, at least, those items are important. You can farm them, but it is a very low drop rate, and it takes forever to get enough to upgrade your bow. So, making sure you kill that crystal lizard every time it respawns, and make sure you loot it every time, is important. So I'm getting a little closer to get a clearer shot on this crystal lizard. And down it goes. Now I just got to get to it and get the loot without getting killed. There's an item and a shield back here to pick up. Might as well. It's not my preferred shield, but like I said, I'm a bit of a pack rat. If I see an item and it's not a high risk item to get, and then I'll usually go get it. As you can see, I left a couple of guys here, but it's so minimal that it makes almost no difference. And I can go loot with impunity. And then I decide I'm going to go after this item. I don't know what it is at the time, so I didn't want to leave it behind. It does mean a bit of a run back, though. I generally run across this. I've heard you can walk across it, normal run, but I usually sprint. Just because I don't trust the normal walk to get across it. Don't stand too far out on the edge, though, while you're trying to look at stuff, or it'll collapse under you and you won't get to the items without resetting. Resetting the level, not the game. That's another good strength weapon. Take a little bit of damage coming back down. But as you can see, we're back where we were at the beginning of this section. And we just go up the stairs and around the corner, and we're back where we were. We got to get through that lava pit at some point. But that's where we're heading next, is to unlock that. Everything should be dead in here unless you missed something. It's up to you if you want to hold a shield up like I did as a just in case. I always assume I missed something. Because at times I have, and I've died for it. Ta-da! So this next section is not very long, but it can kill you pretty quick if you're not careful. It has some of those wall crawlers up on a wall and around some corners. You see them right up there. I used a bow to pull them down, and I think I tried to attack a melee. And the reason I'm trying to deal with these guys right now is because because there's some dogs on the other side that I got to deal with. Why do enemies get to swing with impunity through walls and I can't? But as you can see, I took some damage for hitting him. But if you can hit him just the tip, I can get by. There's one more of these guys I did not get. A couple of them on the ground back there. And as you can see, I decided not to take any more damage by hitting them. There's another one. And there's a dog. Luckily he got distracted and decided to attack air for a while. That right there will get you killed. When you go to swing at an enemy and it bounces off a wall, it will kill you really fast. Especially if the enemies can do half your life or more. And that was the last one. So there's actually 3 dogs, which means that there's still one that's waiting around here somewhere. There he is. And there's an Ed's grindstone around here somewhere. Oh, back the other way. This way here leads down to the rest of the level. And I just realized I'd left something behind. So I went back. As you can see, I'm leaving my shield up because I couldn't remember if there were only 3 or if there were more dogs. There's the Ed stone. Here in a few minutes, we're going to be starting up the boss fight of this area. Yeah, don't start the swing unless you either A, know you're going to stagger them, or B, they're not swinging at you. Because they can do a crap ton of damage. Especially when they're both swinging at the same time, because their swings will break your shield pretty easily. I had this guy just ignore me the whole time. Alright, so you're going to want to pull this lever here, and that one room that was full of lava that I mentioned we needed to get through gets doused. Then we run back up here, around the corner, again. And we can now get down here. I believe there's a poison resist ring and a few other odds and ends down here that are useful. Well, more or less. Yep, poison resist ring. There's only 3 or 4 more enemies before the boss. So. This first guy here, though, is a bit of a pain to kill. You can use arrows on him, which I believe I do. But if you try to go in there, he will, like, blow you up. So, how you wish to deal with him is up to you. But I prefer arrows. Got him with my last shot right before I had to roll. Once he's dead, this room's pretty much empty. All these barrels, when he hits them with fire attacks, or if you swing with a fire-based weapon and hit them, they all explode. And they hurt. And he drops the official's leggings, which are, again, needed. Used to be the only one you needed was the official's hat. Watch your head up here. Although he drops it so quick that unless you're sprinting through the area, you're not likely to get hit. And that is that. That's every enemy in this level dead. At least once. I think. A couple odds and ends to pick up in here, and then you'll take the platform down to meet the boss. contemplating my life choices. So one tip when you get down here, and if you're not 100% certain you can kill the boss, send the elevator back up. Right before you roll off. That way there you don't have to wait for it to come back up and then follow it back down again. This item back here is another spider stone piece, I believe. It's worth picking up. Don't forget about it. Save you some time, etc., etc. So, this boss here, I decided I wanted to try to fight melee. I've never fought at melee before in any previous game, any playthrough, because it is a nightmare to fight. But I was hoping maybe the graphical upgrades would give me more Qs and I'd be able to fight, etc., etc. So, let's see how that went. It does look much better. So that's dodgeable. That won't hit me if I'm off to the side. That somehow hit me, even though I was off to the side. That one will hit me. But it's blockable. And then she did some sort of slam on my head. Whatever. Okay. Always when you fight a boss first time in a unique way, there's a learning curve. As you can see, that time I sent the ramp back up. Learned my lesson. Anyway, so I figured this time I'd give it another try and see what happens. Now that I learned from the first one, see if I do better or worse. Wanted to see if I could utilize the trick that you used to be able to do of just standing in the corner and shooting her. And it seems to be working. And I was trying to keep an eye on her attacks. Yeah, that one there is a bit of a problem. As you can see. Anyway. I decided to go up and try meleeing again. But it still slows me down. It's like I'm over-encumbered. And I think I did pretty well this time, all things considered. I mean, I took some hits. But I was learning to block things. Some of them. That's the one that killed me the last time. This one here is what killed me. Because once it gets to you, you can't move. And then you just die. I decided I'd have enough at this point. I decided I was going to kill it the easy way. The way I knew I could kill it. This is the only boss I believe I cheese in the entire game. I don't even know if this is cheesing it. This is how it seems like most people end up fighting this thing, because fighting it up close and personal is not fun. I wouldn't go so far as to say it's a badly designed fight. But I don't know very many people who actually enjoy fighting it in general. The boss right after this is actually very good, and the boss after that is definitely badly designed. Many people were disappointed with that one. But the one after this is actually one of the better bosses in the game. One of the most fun ones. This is a very slow fight. The reason this works is because these little corpses here on the right tend to block 90% of her attacks. She won't use the oil, and even if she does, I don't think it reaches this far. And the only thing you really have to worry about is being caught in the spider webs. Every once in a while something will hit you and damage you, but you can literally just back off into the corner and heal yourself. You only have to step out just enough for your arrows to hit. As you can see, I didn't realize my arrows weren't hitting for a second there. And the boss is finally almost gone. This was one of the other reason why I picked up so many arrows, because I knew there was a chance I would need to do this to kill the boss. But I wanted to give it a shot. This is the only boss I don't think I actually go toe-to-toe with. Oh, excuse me. Might be coming down with a cold. I'm not sure. Oh, this is a very boring fight. The only reason I'm leaving it at a normal speed throughout the entire thing is, well, because it's a boss. And just make sure you pick up all the items in this room. You'll see I was a little confused because I thought I was supposed to get a pure spider stone shard. It is still here. I just didn't realize I got to click on the bonfire to get it, or whatever you want to call that thing. Anyway, up next, I believe we go after 1-2, and we kill the Tower Knight. Now that I've unlocked the area I want to get to in here. So, as you see, I'm starting to panic a little bit because I thought it was supposed to be here. And I was a little concerned. And I don't have it. So I was thinking maybe they'd removed it. Which is a distinct possibility, but it didn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. But either way, I did not have it, so I decided to head back. And you'll join me again once we enter World 1-2. There's the soapstone. Spider stone. Whatever. Alright, so we're starting at 2-1. It's a fairly simple level, but it has one really long, tedious section here up front. I will speed through it, though. Anyway, up here in this first room, you're going to be attacked by a few hoplites. I think that's what they're called. They just shoot spears at you like normal, etc., etc. They're a little scattered, so they can shoot you in the back. But you'll notice they do a lot less damage now than they did before. Partially because we've leveled up a little bit. And my Uchigatana can actually one-shot them. This guy's a bit of a pain because he's in a narrow corridor. And you can't get behind him, so you pretty much have to just sit there and just pick at him until he dies. Careful if you're going to do that. This guy can shoot at you from that distance. I don't think I've ever used throwing knives in this game. Anyway, there's a couple items in here you want to grab, as well as going down and talking with Ostrava again. He should be right down here.
Hello, look at me. Again, fence clear out the soldiers blocking the Lord's path. Just over there is now a few.
Never mind the fact that the enemies blocking him in are so weak, he could literally just plow through them. Anyway, that aside, when you get out this door here, you want to have a full stamina bar because you're going to basically just sprint all the way to the next building. You do have plenty of leeway, so if you have to stop halfway through and recharge, you're usually fine, but you don't want to wait around picking up items, things like that. So I'm actually waiting for the dragon. You don't have to, though. You can literally just run straight across. You saw how long it took him to show up. And we are going to get rid of that dragon right now. Well, in about 20 minutes, real time. Right now in your time. Ignore the dragon for now. He can't hit you when you're up here. Well, he could, but I guess he chooses not to. Not supposed to be there. I'm just skipped ahead till I killed him. It was easier. And you'll know you killed him because you'll get a... And he'll finish out his current cycle, and then... Souls. And a scale. Or a soul. That soul is not used for anything to my knowledge, so you can actually just burn it. I don't think I actually do. I think I end up hanging on to it. But you do not have to do that. I think it's worth like 10,000 souls or something like that, which is pretty good at this point in the game. Now you can run back and pick up all the loot you left behind, which isn't worth all that much. I think it's mostly just bait to keep you from not getting away from the dragon. That winged spear, though... It can be upgraded to a fairly powerful weapon, and it can be used behind a shield, meaning you can block and attack at the same time. So that's actually a very handy weapon you can have. I've never really been fond of it, but I know some people who have been. I think you can also turn it into the scraping spear, but I don't remember the requirements for that. So one direction you go here will lead to the next tower, as well as a vendor. The other direction you can go will lead to Ostrava and let you free him. I believe we are heading to Ostrava at the moment. Leave your shield up here because there's enemies hiding in the dark that can shoot you before you can see them. And there's enough of them that they can do some serious damage. Crescent Moongrass, once you upgrade your health a little bit, is almost useless. It's nice to have on you as a cheap thing so you don't have to burn through your others, but overall it's not very useful later on. Even half the grass gets to the point where it's almost useless. I don't know any use for the gash resistance ring. There's no real enemies except for players who might use it. Use bleed against you. So that is a blue eye knight cuirass, I believe. I don't have the weight for it right now, so I'm gonna go clear out some space so I can pick it up. Technically, I've probably already cleared enough space, but I decided to clear out a bunch of stuff all at once. I mean, what use is bolts? I don't know anybody who's ever used a crossbow in this game. I don't know if there's any advantage to it over the bow, other than the fact that you can keep your shield up while you use it. Didn't want the extra weight. Got rid of it.
Thank you. Time to forge ahead.
Now you have to help him one more time later on in the next section in order to complete his quest. Unfortunately, I screwed that part up. Somehow. I'm not really sure how. Because once you help him the third time, you'll meet him in the 4th level, and he will give you a soul, or not a soul, a key. So you can go get you can go fight a secret boss twice. And yeah. So that entrance I passed back there was the way I came in. Right now I'm heading for the vendor just to show you where it's at. This guy sells pine resins, which are very handy for World 5. Almost everything there is weak to fire. And also for farming sharpstone. Or, not sharpstone. Bladestone. Because bladestone, high-end bladestone requires farming black skeletons in World 4. And black skeletons are, to the best of my knowledge, weaker to fire than anything else, so... Lots of dogs. Missed. Alright, and you should find him sitting up here. I don't believe he's found later in other sections. Don't quote me on that. No, he is found. Never mind, he is in the next world as well. So. I know because I visit him. I don't think I buy anything from him there, but...
Mostly.
He sells up to half moon grass and pine resins right there. Oh, and late moon grass. So late moon grass is probably the lowest level grass you're going to want in New Game Plus, depending on your health. Soldier's Lotus, you get plenty of those later. And he carries around a few odds and ends for weaponry and shields. Nothing really major. So I just kind of ignored him. I came back later when I needed pine resins, though.
Hard times, eh?
Birch. And this is the exit to the next tower. By going up through here, you actually come up behind a lot of the enemies, which actually gives you a bit of an advantage. I do recommend going up the stairs first, clearing out the archers and whatnot, so they're not shooting you in the back while you're trying to do stuff. Compound shortbow. That did not go as planned. This area is pretty straightforward, but as you approach the building up there, you're going to have archers shooting at you from above, as well as archers shooting at you from below, and some blue-eyed knights. So you just want to make sure you're real careful going up here. It's not as bad as the walk up to the next area, but it's still... Actually, it's nowhere near that. So, forget I was about to say anything. This is actually pretty easy, all comparatively. It can be a bit of a pain sometimes, but not even close to that. That's a pain always. And down he goes. Blue-eyed knights are a good source of mid-tier grasses and things like that. I do believe the fat officials drop the high-end grasses, like full moon grass. I just realized... Excuse me. I just realized I'd forgotten to go back this way and pick up all the items in between the first and second tower. There are enemies in here. Down he goes. You'll notice once I'm using the Uchigatana, I'm trying to attack these guys right before they hit me. It's hard enough to stun most enemies out of an attack animation. Not always, but... And it's fast enough to actually attack with and actually get the hit in on time. Wasn't much worthwhile going back for. Somehow I missed that guy. I've got no idea. Alright, so the next boss is in there, but we got some little trash guys to clear out first before we can go in there. You can see them shooting at me up there. As long as you keep moving, they shouldn't hit you. Blue-Eye Knight, deal with him just same as you would any Blue-Eye Knight. Just walk around him and backstab him or just beat the crap out of him. Like that. That's the boss room. But we're going to go upstairs and get a crystal lizard and a couple other odds and ends first. There's a crystal lizard. Wasn't that hard to get him. Then up here we got a couple of archers, and I think they drop there's a stone of ephemeral eyes or something up here. Nothing majorly important. Noble's Lotus. They haven't even noticed me. Now they're all dead. There's that stone. And another soul. So up next is the boss. So there is an achievement for killing this boss without taking out any of the ads, the archers in the area. However, I fight him normally here. I didn't know that that achievement existed at the time. I didn't look into anything on the game for changes before I started it up, except for graphically. So, I missed that opportunity. So, the way I'm doing it is the safe way. You run right past him, up the stairs, and just start killing archers. There's a path all the way around, and as long as you keep your distance from the wall, you're usually safe. No need to worry about him being able to hit you through walls and things like that. See? However, that attack does have a certain amount of penetration. even though it is stopped by the wall, it can still hit you if you're like right up against it or your angle's not perfect. Like standing there, you can be hit. I think I get hit once throughout this by his spear attack. Maybe I'm mistaken. Thought I got hit once. Anyway, a few archers left. There it is. I knew I got hit. Ironically, this archer is the most dangerous one to fight, because he's almost right in a line with the guy. Almost right in a line with the guy. He will continue using the spear over and over again, as long as you are out of range of melee. I don't know if it's magic damage or not. Your goal is to attack his feet until they are glowy, and then switch over to hitting his head after he falls over. Almost all of his movements, all of his attacks have proximity damage. So like when he steps backwards, even if it's not an attack, he can actually do damage to you. As you can see, I learned pretty quick the range of his shield slam, and unless I'm not paying attention, I usually try to avoid it. I got plenty of healing. I don't need to worry about not being able to heal. So, and there he goes, gets knocked down, and I got hit. And you just attack his head. You can see I do a crap ton more damage. And even standing up does damage. And rinse and repeat. Unfortunately, his feet are already marked, so you can't really just sort of track how they're doing based on their looks. But as long as you keep your health high, this should be an easy fight. I learned that time. I kept my distance. And I was in two-handed mode before I attacked. Alright, and that is as far as we can go in this area. That door is locked until we kill an archdemon. There's 4 archdemons we have a choice of, but almost everybody goes for the one in World 2. Alright, we are going after the Purple Flame Shield, which is going to be my main shield the rest of the game, I believe. This is, well, minus a few unusual circumstances where I go after something else. But just start at the beginning, and you're just going to run up the stairs, kill what you got. Over here, oh, I did check, it is open, but I decided not to go down there just yet. Down there, there's not a whole lot useful to me, but it's an area to clear out at some point. And just sort of run up here. Almost everything here should die in like one hit. Or a trade. And when we clear everything out, we're going to be taking a right, going up that tower. And we're heading back to where the dragon strafing occurred back near the beginning of the game. Not the one where we shot the dragon until it gave up, or killed it, but the other one. So you're going to make your way up the top of this tower. You're going to have some enemies, some hoplites and things like that up here. Nothing really major, except trying to get behind them. They're not really positioned to try to fight you off on your way up the tower. Mostly down. That one's the one caught worst out of position. Hardest one to kill on your way down the stairs, easiest one to kill on your way back up. Up here can be a little bit dangerous because you got like 2 or 3 spear guys all at once. And the firebomb guy. Yeah. That can kill you pretty quick, even at higher levels. Just randomly stab the air behind the guy's head. That works too. So up here we've got to get past the entire bridge full of enemies. One we actually cleared off before, mostly with the dragon's help. And pick up the item I completely forgot earlier on. There's the lever we pulled to open up the boss room. And now we got to make our way up this bridge in reverse. Luckily, most enemies are going to be one-shot by us. But there's a lot of them. Just take your time, be patient. It also helps that none of these guys seem to use their shields. And this is the last guy. You do have 2 spear guys down here that you're going to need to deal with in order to continue on. And they're dead. So up here is where 2 dragons normally sit. And there's a whole bunch of items around them. And, well, normally you can't get to them. You remember we killed a dragon in World 2-1. That was one of these 2 dragons. The other one is waiting for us elsewhere. So the main item we're here to get is the Purple Flame Shield. It comes with a 90% resistance. There it is right there. 90% resistance to fire. Which basically makes at least one of the bosses a whole lot easier to deal with. And almost any enemy that uses fire is a whole lot easier to deal with. Also, it has a very high guard break, and it gets much higher. I think it ends at like 80 or 85, something like that. And the guard break reduction, what it does is reduces how much stamina you lose when you block. Which reduces the odds of them bashing your shield apart when they hit you, even with heavy overhand attacks. So, and a flame resistance ring is also helpful for that same one. Ring of Great Strength is a very handy ring. It allows you to carry more items. As you can see, I've been sticking with the Providential ring and one or the other of the Cling ring or Thief's ring. But Ring of Great Strength increases your carry carry capacity, or your equip capacity, sorry, by about 50%, which allows you to roll faster if you're above that 50% mark. So, down here there's a couple more items. I believe it is Nexus Shard, and one other item, I don't remember. Yeah, try not to look up Archstone Shards, yeah. Okay, now we're back into 4-1, and we are going to finally defeat the Stray Demon and defeat Adjudicator, I believe. As you can see, I'm trying out new tactics with meh results. It does speed things up a little bit, though. Don't really need it. I'm actually hitting really hard with just a backstab. Oh yeah, in case you hadn't noticed, I upgraded my gear. So instead of doing 25 damage on a backstab... Oh, these guys I might have been doing more. I don't remember. Maybe just the black ones I was only doing 25. But either way, I'm doing a whole lot better than I was. Come on down. So this audio might sound a little different from the previous part of the episode. I apparently lost my original version of this particular section, so I had to re-record it. So I apologize if things sound different. I've actually made adjustments to the way I record things since then, so hopefully... That's helpful. Alright, now if it's Stray Demon. With better gear, better everything. This guy's just a meat shield. As you can see, though, I generated a bleed almost immediately. And as always, just stay behind and... Honestly, I'm making this look very easy. This tactical work, even at the, what do you call it, the tutorial, it just takes a whole lot longer, depending on your weaponry that you start with. Bleed wore off. Bleed's back. I personally think bleed was much more useful in later Souls games, such as the Dark Souls, where once bleed procced, it actually took a chunk out. It didn't make sense the way this one does, but it was a lot more useful as a status effect. This is like a moderately slow bleed, or not moderate, yeah, well, bleed, yes, but this was more like moderately slow poison type of thing is what I meant to say. Being shot at in the back. Much more effective than backstabs. And there's that trap that shot me in the back. Still irritated over that. That guy did not give me any warning. Normally you hear them. So you dodge him, move down, and as you can see, I'm just trying to run past everyone here. Don't want to try to fight them. That did not end well the last time, and I'm not that much stronger this time. That should not have hit me. But it did. And that was where I needed to go, right there. Anyway, irritating as that might be, I decided I'm not going to go that route this time. Taking an alternate route to get to the boss. Technically, this is a glitch, or a skip, or I don't know if it's a glitch, it's a bypass. Speedrunner would be able to tell me exactly how it's terminology. But again, maybe it was intended that you might be able to do this, but the fact that you can't break through the fog wall at a certain point indicates otherwise. As you can see in the bottom right, I do have another attempt going where I died again before I did this. So, yeah. Irritating, yes. Most of this is pretty much identical to how you would run the level normally. Blah, blah, blah. But there was a key we picked up down here on the end. We're heading back in sort of that direction. We're not picking up the key, obviously, because we already did, but... Alright, so your goal here, there's a lowish spot on the wall right over there. And I'm going to point to it here, roughly. And you're basically going to try to jump over it. Right over there. And your goal is to roll off of this wooden platform and land on the wall. This is easier said than done. As I attempt it the second time and then walk right off. Or succeed on the second attempt and walk right off. And then promptly fail several times thereafter. Any day now. There it is. And you get the regenerator's ring, which I believe regenerates your health. And I believe there's a crystal lizard around here. Yep, right there. You gotta be careful shooting crystal lizards on these cliffs because depending on the angle that they're at, sometimes they can just roll right off the cliff after you shoot them. You don't have to keep your shield up the way I've got here. There's no enemies in this area. Well, not initially anyway. There's some a little further up, but none here. That's right on the other side of that wall, I'm pretty sure is where I died. Won't let you through from this direction. But I didn't want those gold skeletons anyway. There's a couple of items you can pick up in here. Nothing, like, game-changing. I guess that might be useful for PvP, but... And yes, the regenerator ring does recover HP. So there's going to be a trap here in just a second, and I couldn't remember which direction it would shoot from. So instead of trying to block it, I decided I'm going to try to just like sprint through and get off to the side. I didn't see it behind me, so I presumed it was in front of me. I think that's what I did. It's going to call me a liar, isn't it? Nope. And then there's a black phantom just down here. Alright, so Adjudicator Demon. There is a trophy for killing him without jumping down. I did not get that one because I didn't know it existed. I did not know that it existed. So, if you want, you can go for it. Basically, you would just stand on top and either use fire spells or arrows or something like that, and you're going to shoot the bird on its head. So here we go. I had to cut a lot out on that one. That's weird, but... And your goal, at least if you're fighting him on the ground, is to slash him on this open wound right here that supposedly he dealt to himself somehow. I'm not really sure how that works, but... Otherwise he's immune to damage. Actually, as you can see, he's immune to damage even there. But he can hit like a Mack truck. Round 2. Pretty much the same thing. Just be a little more careful. If you walk around him to his right constantly, he really can't hit you. If you get stuck on a wall, make sure to back off till he backs off from the wall enough that you can get around him. And then he falls to the ground, and then you can attack the bird. And you can do massive amounts of damage. Then rinse and repeat. Oh, I was trying to back up and hit the bird directly. And he gave me a little more room to work here. I don't have enough stamina to really kill him in one go, though. This is what I meant about him being stuck on a wall. That's a really bad spot to be. You really don't want to be there. I don't know how I didn't die there. And then I found myself in the exact same position. But as you can see, I got smart and got out. And down he goes. Anyway, that's all for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Guggen out.